everyone, welcome back to Slay a Tree Thursday. This week we're doing the water drop effect, and welcome to my very dirty mat. I am so sorry. I have tried to clean it. It won't clean. This is just how it is from now on. So I will have to I'll have to work on that. Anyway, getting back to what we're doing the water drop effect. So I thought that we would do this one time and one time only with this super stinking cute, adorable cat sticker. I tried to find a UV DTF that was this cute, but I couldn't find one. So we're going with the sticker. I don't love that it has like a white cast around it, but that's okay. We're still going for it. I originally wanted to use this image because I thought, how perfect would that be for the water drop effect? However, because of the way you have to do it, I couldn't find a way to make it work that it looked right. So we're definitely going to use that image in something in the future, just not in this one. So, cats, cute umbrella, water droplets. I'm thinking that this is pretty perfect. So I thought we would use that same tray mold that I showed earlier. I was originally going to use that one because it was just one that I had made for something else. It was extra, but the colors didn't really match the colors of the sticker. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to try to pick out some of the colors that are in the sticker and kind of put those a little bit around the edges just to kind of blend it a little bit so it's not just a super plain background. It has some color, it has a little depth, a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to go through and pick out some pinks and then some greens just so that we can, make it special because cats are special. And 18,426 hours later, we finally have colors. Oh my gosh, why does it take so long to find colors that match? Oh my goodness. But I digress. The water drop effect is so easy and it's so cute. You could do this however you want to do it, but I would just take some UV resin and then I try to figure out where I'm going to put my water droplets. So I know that I'm going to put my sticker in the middle. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to place kind of my water droplets around the perimeter where the image is not going to be, since the image is going to cover up anything that's behind it. So going to kind of think about where I want, some chunky drops, some small drops. You can put your drop down and then tilt your tray a little bit, and that'll kind of give it the look like your water droplet is running a little bit. So there's a lot of different, little different things that you can do to make sure they're not all perfectly the same size or not all perfectly round, things like that. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to cure my drops every, few drops when I kind of get them where I want them. I don't want them to continue to spread or anything like that. So my UV resin is fairly, it's fairly thick, so it's not going to really run too much. But like I said, every 10 or so, I'm just going to give it a quick cure. Nothing too long. I'm not going to do a full cure, just 15, 20 seconds, just to make sure that they are going to stay exactly where I put them. And I'm going to repeat that process over and over again until I have the drops in the exact place that I want them. So after I got all of my drops down, I did give it a really good cure for about 10 minutes. So that way they are good and solid and not going anywhere. And then I'm just going to take and I'm going to figure out where I want to put the colors around the edge of the mold in relation to the sticker. With this effect, you'll put your drops down, you'll cure them, and then you'll come in with some mica powder and you'll paint over them. And then basically what that's doing is that's helping those to stand out when you put your top coat of resin on them. So you'll be able to see the water drops beneath your coat of resin. Think of it as resin catfishing. You're basically tricking the person who's looking at your piece into thinking that, hey, that looks like water, when we all know that if we put water in resin, that wouldn't be great. So yeah, no water, just plastic. but it looks like water. So I just took some mica powder and I tried to kind of keep it aligned with where I think it should be when we put the sticker down. So at the top, there's the pink for the umbrella, and then that kind of fades into some different colored pinks. And then down at the bottom, I put the green. So that way, when we put the sticker on, it'll hopefully line up and be kind of cohesive. And I'm going for a little bit of the chuck it all in method. I'm not going to use alcohol to spray. I'm actually going to use my brush to burnish the mica powder down onto the mold. But we're kind of using that same general idea of just putting your mica powder down, rubbing it all in, and hoping for the best. I think that's how I'm going to describe this method. I am trying to keep the edge of the tray not completely opaque. I don't want it to be full of color. So it's okay if some of the mica powder gets into the edge of the tray. I just don't want the entire tray to be colored. I kind of like when it's going to be mostly white because we're going to put white behind this, but I just didn't want it to be all colored in. Honestly, I kind of wish I would have done it in clear, which I could have done had I planned better, but you guys know that's not my strong suit. So white it is, and it'll be perfect. So once I had my mica powder down where I wanted it, instead of going in and just start swishing my brush around, I took and I kind of pounced it down on top of the water droplets first, because I wanted to make sure that they were fully covered and that I wasn't going to dislodge them when I started rubbing my brush around. So I did just kind of pounce it over the top rather than rubbing it in the beginning. I do eventually go in and just burnish it down all over the tray, but I did it very gently. You can very easily loosen your little water droplets. So just make sure that when you're doing your mica powder that you just take it a little bit easy. And here it is, all burnished down. I think that looks so good. I love the pink and the green, and I think it's going to really mesh well with the sticker. So I mixed up 16 ounces of resin and put in some white pigment paste. I made it just shy of opaque. I could have added a little bit more white, but I think it was completely fine. It turned out completely fine, even though it was a little probably more milky than actually full-on opaque white. And I poured in pretty slowly just because I didn't want to accidentally dislodge any of our little water droplets. In one of my test runs, I just dumped it all in, and some of the smaller droplets decided they would rather float than stay on the surface of the mold. So I did take it a little bit on the gentle side. And so we're going to let this cure. And then once it's cured, we'll come back in and then we'll put our sticker on and we'll see what it looks like. And I don't know, 12 hours later, here's what we look like. And I kind of love it. I love those colors, that pink and the green, the fact that in the rim, how there's some color in there, but then there's also a good bit of white. One little tiny thing that I didn't like about the rim was some of the mica powder, because I didn't want the entire edge to be colored in. I didn't go in and really rub that powder in, and so there are some pieces of unmixed powder that kind of settled into some of those druzy edges, which it's not bad. It's just not ideal because it just looks like there's like little speckles in there. Once again, not a big deal. I probably should have actually sprayed just around the edges with alcohol just to make that liquidy so that it would float, but hindsight 2020. And this sticker is a sticky sticker. Oh my gosh, it did not want to loosen from the backing. I was so worried that I was going to rip it. It is the only one I had. Like normally I have multiples of stickers and things. And so if I rip one, I mean, it's not great, but it's not that big of a deal. But this was the only one. I had to special order it. And so it was a little nerve-wracking for me because sometimes I just get like really excited and just move right in. But it came off the backing and oh my gosh, I love it. It is so freaking cute. Absolutely, completely love it. And so because we put a sticker on, we definitely want to top coat this to make sure it's all sealed in. If it was UV DTF, I might say not to worry about it, but because it's not, it's a sticker, I definitely want to make sure that it is sealed in there. If it gets wet or anything like that, it's not going to be a problem. So I mixed up, I can't remember, I think 3 ounces of my next resin that is in our supply of resins. Do you ever know that you're getting low on resin, right? And you think, I have enough to do this. And you know in your heart that you should measure part B into 1 cup and part A into another cup just to make sure you have enough. Yeah, I knew that I should do that. I knew that. I know better. But did I do that? No, I did not. I poured part B in. I barely had enough. Now, I always have extra of part B. So once again, brain should have been like, hey, you're not going to have enough of part A. You should really pour that into a separate cup. Did my brain do that? My brain did not do that. You know what my brain said? My brain was like, YOLO it. Go for it, girl. Just put it all in 1 cup. It'll be fine. That was my brain. Yeah, my brain was wrong. It was wrong. I was short by 1 ounce. So I put in my B, then I put in my A, and then I was short by an entire ounce. Do you not want to know, though, what the ridiculous, ironic thing is? I did stir it and all of that because I didn't want to just throw it into the garbage, right? Because we're talking about uncured resin, I don't know, biohazard, blah, blah, blah. And so I took that resin. I stirred that resin like a fiend. I mixed it so hard. There were so many bubbles that I mixed into that resin. I threw it into just a bowl that I had that I was like, well, if it doesn't cure, I'll just clean it out. It's no big deal. Do you know that it cured totally fine? And do you also know not 1 bubble in the entire tray? I don't know. Sometimes I think we're living in a simulation. I mean, I'm just saying that sometimes I think we're living in a simulation. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to let this cure. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to look at it together and we're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking cute. Okay, I'll see you in, I don't know, depending on the simulation, maybe 5 minutes, maybe like 20 years from now. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, 24 hours later, and that's it. I'm done. Peace out. This is too cute. Nothing, like my heart has reached maximum capacity. Oh my gosh. Who gave cats an umbrella? Why are they in the rain? And why are they so freaking cute? I love this. I love this so much. And you guys know I don't ever say that, but I love this. I think it's so cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say. It's cute. It's adorable. I love it. And yeah. So go check out the description box below. Go check out the other creators and all the amazing pieces that they have put together this week. And you guys, send Beverly some love. She has not been feeling the best. She has really just been struggling recently. So please go give her some love because she is one of the kindest, sweetest people I have ever met. And of course, we have Kathy, who is also one of the kindest and sweetest people on the planet. This group is some of the best, just most incredible people ever. Go give them some love. Go check out their videos. And then come back in 2 weeks and we're doing abstract. I love abstract. I am all about things that don't make sense, that things are a little wonky and a little off because, frankly, I can do whatever I want, not plan it, and I can just say it's abstract. So please come back in a couple of weeks and let's hang out. And I appreciate you all for being here. So thank you guys again, and I hope to see you next time.